A lot of people have not heard your mind on the former Emir, Muhammadu Sanusi.
Yeah.
What is the real story behind the situation at the time?
Well, the real story is that the Emir of Kano, the deposed Emir of Kano, did not understand the responsibilities of a traditional ruler, especially for a strong institution with that of Kano. You see, the Emir of Kano was a social critic, a celebrated social critic. And there was nothing wrong with that because he's an educated person. There's freedom of speech. Let me give you one example. When I was a deputy governor, and my former governor, Konkoso, was the governor of Kano State, Sanusi was an executive director in a bank. And he made a statement that instead of providing water in Kano State, we are building a house in Abuja. That is the house belonging to Kano State government, like any other, the lodge, the governance lodge in Asakoro. And also he said, while we were paving the roads with tiles in order those who are walking along the street can also walk smoothly, he said, instead of us renovating schools, we are putting, such pavements. So you can see that it was a social critic. Of course, in governance, you have to do so many things at the same time. You do not say you will do this, you will stop all other things. That was a social critic. I could remember my governor said either the bank should sack him or we should withdraw our account from that bank. And the government, the bank did not sack him. So we withdrew 969 million naira from that bank. I could remember the figures precisely. You see, that was the work of a social critic. But when we became the Emir of Kano, he refused to change from that stature to the stature of a traditional ruler. He's an economist, but he failed to understand. In economics, you have to inherit assets and liability. But in the economy, he only inherited the assets of the traditional institution by giving orders, staying in a mansion, dressing gorgeously, being addressed as a king. But the liability of that institution, you have to watch your words. You have to watch your tongue. And he didn't do that. That was a problem. That was the biggest problem, that he could not change his mode of life from social critic to an institution. As of now, that institution does not afford a social critic of his type. He will have problem with the society. He was destroying the institution. This tongue that you are seeing is a very dangerous organ in the body. In fact, even politicians, the greatest enemy of a politician is his tongue. Because you said something yesterday, and today you are contradicting yourself. That is your tongue. That is why God, in his mercy, decided to provide so many layers for the tongue. You have the lips, you have the teeth in order to protect your tongue, and it is also left in a liquid so that it doesn't become brittle. All these are arrangements in order to have a break for the tongue. But Sanusi was able to break all the walls. Even the traditional rulers, they added another layer by covering it like this. Covering like this means don't talk anyhow. If you don't know, that is the meaning of this. Don't talk anyhow.
And that's why you had a problem with him.
Yes, that's when we had a problem with him. He was destroying the institution. That was one thing. The second thing was that, you see, there's claim and counterclaim about the creation of emirates, additional emirates in Kano. Abubakar Rimi attempted to create emirates, and he created emirates. But unfortunately, Abubakar Rimi did not provide the legal backing to the emirates. And therefore, another governor came and changed it. So, because of public demand from those areas, that is one, demand from those areas. Two, because of history. Three, because of deepening and widening the role of traditional institution in governance. That is very, very important. These three basic reasons, we decided to create more emirates. And we didn't create them just off head like that. We followed history. We followed the demand of the people. We created the emirates. He challenged it in the court of law. When he said the law was wrong, we look at the law. Yes, we say it's okay. We corrected the law. He went back to the court, challenging it. Now, how can the leader of a traditional institution coexist with a government in litigation all the time?
But it does look like you're planning to weaken his powers.
As I told you, three reasons. Not weakening his powers. His powers are not more important than the development of the people. His powers are not more important than the aspirations of the people. His powers are not more important than the historical antecedents of these people. That is the situation. So it was not the creation of the emirates in order to punish him. It was not like that. But he had no power to challenge. Was he not created out of law? Was he not a legal instrument that made him the Emir of Kano? Then why is he challenging legal instruments to create other emirs in the state? So these are the problems that he was heading to destroy the system on one side, and also he was trying to create a parallel government. He was trying to challenge the government on legitimate issues, which is not acceptable to me. And I don't think any reasonable governor, it will be acceptable to him. That is why we took that action. It was painful, but we had to do it in order to save the system. But look at his antecedents to start with. Was he not a governor of Central Bank? Was he not employed by late Yaradua? Before Yaradua died, he was criticizing the Supreme Point agenda of Yaradua. What was his problem? As a governor of Central Bank, he has the opportunity to go and see Yaradua either in the day or in the night to advise him, look, your 7-point agenda is faulty. Why not do it this way? Why not do it that way? Why did he go to the air? God so kind, late Yaradua could not remove him because he didn't last long. Now, look at the time of Jonathan. Jonathan inherited him from Yaradua. Jonathan allowed him to continue as a governor of Central Bank. And he said, billions of dollars were missing. He went to the air instead of conferring with Jonathan. And then he was proved wrong. So what kind of a governor of a central bank? People would take his word serious.
So, Governor, what you did,
I'm trying to show you his antecedents. I'm trying to show you the type of person he was.
In deposing him, if you had the opportunity, would you do it again?
Definitely. I have no regret because he was destroying the system.
Governor Ganduje, I must sincerely thank you again. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.